Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? I just want to kind of run over some of the crypto markets and some of the indices and stuff real quick before you early chickens hit the roost. If anybody's interested, I want to start out with the monthly Bitcoin. I think it is phenomenal. And if you can, there we go. We'll zoom it in on this MACD right here. So what you have going on is one is a long-term beautiful uptrend that we've respected time and time again on the monthly chart. What's up, JoJo? And we've interacted with it quite a few times. We hugged it tight all the way up. Then we made another little bounce, and we've respected it once, twice. We just need to close the next candle or two. So the next 2 months, stay above this line, and it will probably get another all-time high rally. But what I like is we have the higher lows and we have triple MACD hidden bullish divergence so close to forming. What we need here is on this candle. We need this candle to stay bullish. We need the next candle to close bullish and a little higher than what we have right here. And then that will start showing the light pink colors, which is losing negative momentum. It means the sellers are becoming exhausted. And when you have 1, 2, 3, that's triple hidden bullish divergence. Super strong indicator of where it's going to go. Super strong, especially on the monthly. Those kind of time frames is where you want to see things like that. So right here, I'll line it out for everybody. I mean, right there, we just had regular old hidden bullish divergence from anywhere from, you can say it started, but it started waning about February of 2015 all the way to January of 19. And when that hidden bullish divergence right there started playing out, I mean, look at the rally that followed. You're talking about that was that $33,000 to $38,000 low after this little bear market, which was right here. There was our low, confirmation low, off to the races. So you're talking about from $3,000 to $70,000 after that. That being the case, if we continue again with what's technically triple MACD, because you have a low, higher low, and the highest low of negative momentum, it could be insane. This could be insane. This could be our rally from, because I mean, if you really want to look at it, this could be our low, slightly higher confirmation low, bouncing off a long term trend line. Oh man, I couldn't look away from it. This is one of those rallies that I don't think 80K is going to do it justice. This is that rally that could push us to that 160, 150. We don't know how long it's going to take to play out and how many little corrections and pullbacks. I mean, we've already had a 55%, a 56%. Doesn't matter. If you're a long-term holder and you believe the price is going up and everything on the chart is pointing to it, just be patient. Be patient, you shall be rewarded. We'll go down to the weekly. I mean, the weekly, look what you got, man. It's just some really, really good looking junk right here, man. You got lower levels of negative momentum, higher prices. I just don't think you can doubt that it's still in this uptrend. Even when you get down to the daily, KSC and Mana on fire. Yeah, I saw KSC was. I hadn't looked at Mana in the last little while. But it looks like everything was rallying until about 6 o'clock when this new candle opened. It's all down a percent or two. But I mean, even on the daily, we're starting to get those higher lows. And we were losing negative or positive momentum. Then we've started building again. So Bitcoin will make a fool of us all if you try to predict the day-to-day movements. All you can do is report on them, and that's all I'm here to do. I'm here to just report. For those of you who don't watch the charts, don't listen to the news. You don't want to pay attention to them or believe anything they're saying. You want someone to read the charts and tell you exactly what the price action is doing, because each one of these candles represent a moment in time that buyers and sellers agreed upon prices. That's all it is. So if you see sentiment in the market, there's a low, a higher low, you can assume that it's a bullish trend. There's lots of other factors go into that, but don't listen to the news. The news will have you running backwards and losing your ass off. But on the 4 hour still, I mean, we're trying our best to get above this inflection point right here. Those two candles, we tapped it, got rejected, and then this new hour candle's almost barely engulfed. So I don't know. You just have to wait and see how it plays out. But then again, it is the 4 hour. I wouldn't hang my hat on everything the 4 hour does, especially when the weekly and the daily look so great. That being said, we will look at KSC because it was up like 13, 19% or something earlier. Let's see on the 4 hour. Let's measure it. On the 4 hour, dude, we were bumping right there. At the highest, we was up 25.5%. Yeah. Shoot, JoJo. Everything's probably half the cryptos in the market right now are showing those bullish reversals if Bitcoin plays ball, Everybody follows Grandpa Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin will play ball, the altcoins will move, and they may get really good rallies, not insane, but if Bitcoin will run up, I'll tell you right now, if Bitcoin runs up to say 52K, and at that point, if Bitcoin can hold above that and consolidate on top, and then we start seeing the RSI get closer to 60 in the bullish control zone, man, these altcoins can rip. I know it almost does, and we're gonna see more little dumps and consolidations throughout this process. So there's no reason to run for the hills and panic about stuff. I mean, here's our daily right here. You've got some pretty good looking stuff. You have lower levels of negative momentum. Higher low, higher low, higher low. Nothing like edge indicating yet, but nice. I mean, KSC it's respecting it, man. That line that we picked back here, it is just respecting it. It's got to break. I mean, it's trying. It's trying. We've got to break these little highs, these previous highs. We've got to break these. Let's get above 238, and then rip. We'll double in price quick. If we can convincingly break that 238 mark, we will probably rip. We'll double in price pretty quickly and blow people's minds. So it'd be pretty great. Let's Mana. Do you want to look at Mana, JoJo? Let's see what Mana's doing. You mentioned it. It's down 1.8% on the last hour, but on the weekly, we got a low and a higher low, losing negative momentum. We're still in the bearish control zone. I think we've got to get above this 50 range to start showing some kind of bullish control. But we were losing positive momentum on the daily. We started building again. You know, we're getting across and a low, a higher low. Ain't nothing to be mad at right there. It's looking nice. OJ, what's up? In the house. Man, y'all got me smashed. Last stream, bruh. Bruh. I was trying to hold that together, bruh. Y'all, they got me. That spin wheel got me. FTM, OJ? Let's look. Where is Phantom? I bet Phantom's at the bottom for me. Hold on. Or either already. I probably already blew past it. I've got to take the time to sit down and separate my cryptos from my stocks. Because I know I've got it in here because we look at it too much. I may be half lit and missing it. Fine, we'll just find it because I know it's in there. Yeah, it's showing that it's in there. It's crazy. But here it is. Let's start on the 4 hour. Let's see. On the 4 hour of Phantom. On the Bitfinex chart. Looking good. We had this series of big bullish engulfing and big green candles. Was looking pretty nice. This new hours kind of started off drab, but I mean that's what you get after you have a big pump. The scalpers are taking their profits. We're trying to hang above that 50-day moving average, so that's probably a good thing if we can keep building that positive momentum. We'll zoom out. I mean, you can't. We had that double top. We retraced probably. Let's see. It looks like almost 50% of the way from this move, from this low to this high. We retraced almost 50% of the way. And that is an area that it can turn around and bounce. So let's look at on the daily. I bet this line is drawn on the weekly. I mean, on the daily, you basically have. Okay. On the daily, you have something along the lines of Class B divergence because you have the low and typically almost the same low on price. And then you have a higher low and a lower low of negative momentum. We're turning positive right now. That's a little divergence. So that's like a medium. Class B is like a medium form of divergence. That's good. That's better than bearish divergence. That's good. So it's worth keeping an eye on. And I guess I don't know where this line came from. Huh. Well, let's use it. Anyway, let's pick us a spot. We don't have a whole lot of data because it's not that old as far as on the weekly, but we need to stop building red ones. We need to see pink candles come in. Yeah. We need some pretty massive green candles to come in, but you can see here it is. I guess it just got off somehow. We're touching that trend line. We're building it. It's going, and that right there, it's almost a classic double top, but as long as the market, like Bitcoin, everybody turns bullish, it'll negate all of that. You almost could even say it's a really scuffed inverse head and shoulders on a large time frame. I don't know how, but we'll look. We'll look. Let's just say that's the head. We'll call that one shoulder. Let's turn this magnet off. Garbage. And I feel like this shoulder, even though price wise they're right where they need to be, you hate to see that scuffiness. It should have right here. It should have kept reversing. Doesn't mean it can't, but with that supply line being so close, that demand line right there, I guess it could be a little scruffy heading, and if we wanted to do that, then there's going to be, $3.40 going to be our. I'll pull you a measured move, OJ. Hold on. We're going to be there. So the measured move We're going to go from here. From the head to the neckline, you'll want to clone that. And this will give you a price target if this is a head and shoulders, an inverse head and shoulders. See, the hard part is there's no breakout point, but it has to break the neckline. So let's say we get some really massive price action soon. That's putting us up around the $10 range for the measured move of that. If we break out right here, and that's going to change. If we go longer up that, then it's going to almost negate it. But if we just have a massive bullish candle, we're going to be at 966. So it don't look bad at all. I love it. I love it on lots of time frames. So OJ, you're probably going to be fine if you're holding that. I mean, there's nothing screaming to me, long, take a big long. But if you're already in it, you're going to be fine. I wouldn't try to open a new position right there, not just yet. Not till we get a confirmation of touching that neckline again. It's going to Gala. Yeah, I know you've asked me that before. I think it's here somewhere. Right there. So Gala on the 4 hour. Let's see, from here to there. There to there. Technically, that's not really a higher home price. It's just convergence. Let's zoom out, look at a different time frame. On the daily, not really an edge there. I mean, it looks healthy. The trend looks healthy, but I'm not getting I mean, you have touch of a trend line and then a huge bullish engulfing candle. Absolutely. What's kind of sketching me out on it is this right here is more of a bearish divergence because we've already had the positive play out. But this can easily turn around in the next couple of days and start building again. So this is kind of one of those, like, if you've got it, hold it, wait and see. If you're trying to start a new position, you don't want to jump on it just yet. Yeah, I mean, let's see what the lower time frames bring. Yeah, on the lower, like the hourly, if you're trying to day trade it, you could have a little divergence going on, or look at the 15-minute. Yeah, you might have better luck if you're trying to quickly trade it, but it looks strong, it's healthy, it touched that demand line multiple times, and it's trying to pop off, so it's all right. It's all right. I'm not going to open a new position on it, but I will hold and wait and see. Let's look at total market cap. It's kind of looking pretty awesome if we want to get out there. And what I've been looking at is this downtrend right here is trying to be broken. Trying its best. And I mean, we can, if you go with the candles, it's one thing. Go down to the candle close. Turn this daggone magnet off. Jeez. If you go with just the candle body open and closes, it hits really, really nice, and it shows that we're trying to break out, that we are breaking out, back testing it. So on the total market cap of all the cryptos, we could be just like, boom. It could be ready to explode. And I think what we've got to see is we've got to break this right here, this 2.09 trillion, and then we get a run up way up there to 2.2. You break it, and then we're back here. That right there is so minute quickly. There's so much trading here. We'll be back up at that 2.5, 2.6 trillion. So market cap's looking strong. Looking strong. We'll look at ETH. because I know if they're there, they hadn't said anything. I got some ETH fans lurking. Now, this is the daily. This is that little downward sloping channel we've had plotted for weeks. We had a big engulfing candle. We busted out of it. Back test. Failed. Got rejected off that moving average. Fell below it. Tested it as resistance. And then, bam, we just bullishly engulfed yesterday, or today, technically, but the last daily candle, bullishly engulfed right there, trying to test that average again. So we've got to get above that 200 moving average. And we are starting to build positive momentum again. So on the daily, Ethereum's looking really strong. If it can stay out of this channel. On the weekly, I mean, that's a big candle right there. That's a big candle. It's technically a bullish engulfing. And look what we got here. The same thing. We have massive amounts of hidden bullish divergence on Ethereum's weekly chart. Low, higher low, low with higher levels of negative momentum, and now we're losing it. We're starting to turn and go positive. Ethereum could, I'm telling you, Ethereum can see that $6,700 to $7,400 mark very quickly. Very quick, because it's outpacing and outperforming Bitcoin like crazy. There's Gary. I knew as soon as I said ETH, he'd pop up. Gary like just a little like leprechaun. No, somebody say ETH, and Gary just pop up and be like, "What'd you say about ETH?" Man, love some ETH. I do too, though, man. Gary, you looking good, man. I know what you holding. You looking good, dude. Just hang in there. These long-term time frames is what really matters. We're not here trying a 15-minute trade. And I mean, even me, I don't have the time and patience to sit here and swing trade on a 15-minute chart. I don't. I will place my bets and make my investments and go on about my day and do my thing. And yeah, it's Daddy needs some new shoes. Yeah, man. If ETH goes up to $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, have plenty of new, old Jordans sitting around. You could buy up some Jordans. I think Johnny Knoxville spent like $2,500 recently on some, and he's like just kicking rocks with them and crap. But yeah, Ethereum's looking amazing. Let's look at Ethereum on the monthly, and let's try to get our long-term mindset in check. Personally, it looks great. We're back in the bullish control zone right here at 50, 58, 59. We need to be 60 and above bullish control zone for that RSI. We're still making higher lows, just a little correction. What we need to see, and that's about to turn, but we need to see it building positive momentum again right here on the MACD. And we see that start forming, gone, off to the races. Really and truly, if Bitcoin, at this price, since Ethereum's been outpacing Bitcoin, has held up better. If Bitcoin goes back to 52 to 56K, a really strong resistance area, there's no reason we won't be at like $5,000 on Ethereum. There's just no reason that we won't. OJ, you want to see ADA? Let's find it. We'll start right off on the monthly since we're at. Not a lot of information. Just a bunch of green candles. It looks amazing. Go to the weekly, though. Let's get some information. Ooh, that is a level right there. That is a level. Man, Cardano is just, it keeps back testing, keeps hitting that line. It is trying so hard. So, I mean, you really just, at this point, on the weekly, you just got some little convergence just going on. You know, we're about to turn positive. It's losing the negative momentum. Got to get the RSI up, man. But we'll take a big leap if we'll have some buyers come in the market and get us off this little support line that we just keep getting magnetized back down to. I mean, look how well we've held up. People's talk so much crap about Cardano. It's done. It's over. Look at it. Look at on the weekly. Look how far we off where it came from. I had people that I was advising at 18, 16, 18, 19, 21 cents. I mean, we're still sitting over $1, man. You people are still in big money. So there's your weekly. We gotta make some moves. That's what the daily gives us. We had a big old bullish candle. The new candle's opening up a little red. That's fine. We got to get away from this line. We got to get away from this magnet. We're building positive momentum again. Daily looks great. I would hang on. I wouldn't open a new position. The 4 hour don't look awful. You know, if you're in it, you're in it to win it. Hang in there. I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't be trying to exit a position right now. But then at the same time, unless I was looking at like long term, like where am I going to be 5 or 6 years from now, I wouldn't open a new position just yet. I want some confirmations on the longer time scales to where we're going. That's what I want to see. I want some confirmations like, okay, now's the time. VTHOR's looking good. Most of our doggy dog coins. Look what Shiba's doing right here on the 4 hour. Broke out of this channel we've had plotted for a minute. Broke out in his 1, 2, 3, 4. Now back testing for the 5th time. What we need is to get away from this line and break out. Measure move of the flag could be pretty nice. We'll check it out on the daily. Yep. I mean, we're still breaking out. We're right here above this level of inflection. If we can get above this and get away from it, we're going to have to, we'll quickly, if we can break this where we're at right now, which is fighting us, we break that, bam, we get above 33, we're going right there to 39, 40. We're going to go there quickly. It's going to go quick. So that's the daily on SHIB, the weekly. I mean, I don't have no problem with that either. We're losing negative momentum on the weekly. Go ahead towards positive. That's what we want to see. Would I open a new position on ETH? Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of already in that spot that I don't have a whole lot of new positions I want to open up. But I'm not, OJ, if I was going to open a new position on ETH, here's what I would do. Here's how I would do it. If I was looking at opening a new one today, because I can't say I wouldn't, but if I decide to, here's how I would look at it. We're on the weekly time scale. We have that hidden bullish divergence trying to play out. I would want to break, let's see, I would want to see, I would probably, if I entered right now at 31.43, I would want to set my stop loss at 28.48, because you break that 28.48, then most likely you're going to go back down and test this channel. And that puts you somewhere in the, depending on where it comes from, you could be in the $22, $2,300 range. So that's what I do. If I took a long right now, I'd place my stop loss somewhere in that 28.62 to 28.35 area. And I would be prepared to hold it for multiple weeks. I would probably have a limit sell for my first 25% as we tested the all-time high again around 48, 47. So if that's what you're going to do, you're going to open position, put a stop loss right there at 26.48, and then sell your first 25% at 48.94-ish, around there. Then you still have 3/4 of a position to let ride. And at that point, you can start talking about, because this is really almost a channel. You know, we're bouncing around in this channel. Because at that point, you'd have to get just over 5,000, 5,300 to break out of that channel. At that point, you've already took profit off the table, and you let it ride. And then, you got to analyze it then. You got to analyze it then. Man, about half lit. You got to analyze it once we get to that point and see what's going on. We can pull some Fibonacci's to try and get some, price movement. But that's what I would do, OJ. I'm not saying I wouldn't right now. I might would. Right now based on a weekly. I'm not looking at, see, if I look at the daily, nothing on the day that makes me go, I need to open a new position and I'll be looking to trade it in the next 3 or 4 days. No. The weekly gives me confidence right now to say, if I bought today, I know that we're probably going to lose all this negative momentum. Here's what we're probably going to do. Let me draw you some. We're probably going to continue to lose this. Probably build a little higher. Then come back. Just a small negative. And then that's where we want to see the big move. Because right there, at that point, we would have bullish divergence. Class A. That's what we want to see happen. So does that help, OJ? Did that answer your question? I didn't want to ramble on too much, but I kind of do sometimes. I get all off in my head and say crazy stuff, but let's look at the dollar. Let's see what everybody's favorite currency is doing. Yay. The effing dollar being the effing dollar. It's just holding this support line, climbing. What the dollar's telling me is with this, let's say we get a 0.25, we get a 0.25% raise on the inflation coming up the next month, the inflation numbers, and the Fed raises interest 0.25% or whatever, 0.25%. We get that. I think we'll probably be about right here. And then we'll get a little spook in the markets and everybody will panic just a little bit. Then it'll climb some more. Chop. We'll get another rate hike about here. Then I think what's going to happen. Here's my opinion. This is a theory. There's nothing in this chart that tells me this is going to happen. I think they say 3 rate hikes. One, I think they're going to test the market with this first small rate hike right here. Let's see how crazy things get, how panicky people get over it, okay? And then we recover. We keep churning up this line, okay? All the while, Bitcoin's going to just chop around between that 40, 50K zone, okay? Follow me. Second rate hike, it's probably going to be run out. It's going to dump back and touch this line again. Second rate hike may be 0.5. If the 0.2 goes good, it could be 0.5. Maybe 0.2 again. Still, markets panic, but then rebound, chop, and it would only make sense. It would make sense that, look where this ends. I've had this line drawn forever. Look where this line starts to end. We're getting to the end of the year, into 2022. It would make sense that we test this downward trend line that has been years in the making. Okay? 1 hike, 2 hikes. We get right here towards the end of the year. We get our 3rd rate hike because inflation's not subsiding with these 2 little rate hikes that they had to do to keep from pissing off all the markets. Okay? So they come in with a bigger. This is where they tease everybody and they fill us out. They come in with a bigger hike of 1.25%, something like that, something crazy. And then I think it spooks the market so bad, to the point, just so bad. I think everyone dumps their cash. And because, what's 1.25? It's horseshit. Nobody wants that kind of return. I think everyone dumps their cash. We break this line, start another downtrend, and we see gold and we see Bitcoin start climbing. We see it go through the roof. OJ, no problem. You're very welcome, sir. That's my like long term theory on the crap. But look at your Dow Jones. Dow Jones. Yeah, it's chop, 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 choppity chop, choppins. I'm not digging it. Matter of fact, let's see. Out of just theory here. Let's see if it matches. Hold on. Wyckoff distribution chart. Let's see if it's still looking like that. Do 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 do. Hmm. Hmm. Can anybody see that? Can y'all see that? Hold on. I don't know. Y'all probably watching it on your phones. Well, I mean, it's not. It's not to a T, and it doesn't have to be. All we have to have is these highs, lower highs. But I mean, let me try and draw it out, and you can see the yellow line. It kind of looks like we're 1, 2, 3, and then we're doing that on that third test. We got 1, 2, 3 peaks. 1, 2. We'll probably come back up, have another peak, and then start the descent. This is just me. This is where I think it's going. It just seems to have a lot of those characteristics. But this right here, y'all should the Wyckoff distribution events and phases. Definitely, you want to like download that, put it up on the wall. It happens a lot. You'll be able to see it. Dow Jones on the weekly is just not the most exciting thing in the world for me. I'm not digging it because we had a little hidden bullish divergence ish, and it played out. It just didn't. It didn't manifest into nothing that we needed to see. It just another lower high. Lower highs are not good for me. You want to see higher highs and higher lows. On the 4 hour, which after rallies like we had today, you can't deny. We got a little divergence. But nothing spectacular. Nothing that I'm gonna like write home and tell everybody, please buy. No. NASDAQ, what do we do? This is almost a little double top M shape. See, M shape. And then we've got this gap. Jeez, I always forget to do that. Look at this gap right here. We got plenty of gaps. That gap filled. That gap filled. Any other gaps? Filled. See what happens when that bearish gap down, look how we filled it. We had a big bullish gap up. So what would you expect? Since over time and through history, most charts like to go back and fill them gaps. Gap down, bullish candle up. Right here, that was not technically. Big gap down, gap up. Gap down, gap up. Here was a big, look at this right here. Big, huge gap. And everybody's like, oh man, that's how strong we are. But what did we do? We made a lower high than before. We came back down to fill this gap. And we even gapped again. It was so bad, it was so weak. We gapped down again. And then filled it right back up. So there's a lot of market makers manipulation. There's a lot of bigwigs playing this fucking game with y'all, man. But we gapped down. So history tells us that it likes filling the gaps. You have one or two places I'd say you want to fill it. Right now you're showing a little bit of exhaustion by the sellers. So I doubt that we get rejected off this 50-day moving average. Highly doubt that at all. We're probably going to break through it. We'll run up over the coming days, and we'll hit this trend line again. And then at that point, we'll have a little bearish divergence. We'll send us right back down again, and we'll probably fill that gap and make a lower low. Now, as long as we make a higher low than this, it might be all right. But more than likely, we may get another green or so day. But I'd look towards the end of the week or Monday. We're going to fill that gap again. It likes to do that. There's no reason it wouldn't do it again. Look at the S&P. Another gappy gap. Every time we fill a gap, we create a gap going up. We feel it coming down. We filled that gap, created it going down, moved sideways, filled it again and again. Same thing. Little bullish divergence-ish. But we've got that gap. Probably same thing. We're going to end up filling it. And that's not what you want to see, because you got that double top M shape going on. We can zoom out to the macro. This is the weekly. Now the weekly, I don't know. To me, it can be seen either way. You can look at it as if look right here. If you wanted to try to play that, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to look at it longer term, the selling keeps getting bigger. And at some point, it's going to have to exhaust and turn around, and then you would have hidden bullish divergence. Is Facebook oversold? Let's look at Facebook. Where is Facebook as bad as I hate it? Facebook, where are you? Somewhere down in my plethora of garbage. I've got to delete some of these penny stocks that nobody's watching anymore. FB, Meta, boom, 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 boom. Yes, very much so, OJ. On the weekly at that. On the weekly time frame, I mean, we're down here at, we're at 22, man. 22, 23 on the RSI. We oversold like a mofo. Now let's zoom out. We'll see what Facebook does on the chart wise on the weekly when we get oversold. Every time we hit that oversold line of 30, hit it or break just below it, we get a rally all the way back up to the top. Now this is the weekly. This takes weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Remember, this is weeks and months right here. But every time we get oversold, it rebounds. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. It just goes zoom. So on a weekly long-term holder, Facebook, you'll be all right. Let's check them out on a different time scale. Meta platforms, the daily. Now, here's something that just kind of, I'm sketchy-ish about it, but in time, let's go back. God damn it. Let's go back to July 25th of 2018. What happened here? Huge gap down of basically 18, 20%, something like that. Huge gap down. And in time, now this is the daily chart, but in time, what did we do? We kept running down. So that gap down was kind of a nice signal. We gapped straight down and touched that RSI, broke below 30, had a nice little bounce. I mean, you could have played this bounce over a matter of a week or so, but just made a lower high. And we just, every time This is what you like. OJ, this is kind of what you want to find. And this is how you, if you're going to be a little swing trader, you want to find patterns. You want to find channels. You want to find repeating patterns that you can almost just, you're going to lose one of them eventually. But look what it does every time the RSI, if you bought every time the RSI hit 30, pop, pop, pop. But you got to find that pattern of it's hitting 30 and it's getting rejected there at 50, back down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 opportunities between July of 18 and December of 18 to buy that little dip and sell that little rip. Because you got to zoom out. That's the daily. You zoom out to the macro and you're like, oh, it don't look that great. But every time it gets oversold, it pops again. But you got to know when to take that profit and get out, because you can just chop for a whole year. So if you'll take your little profits, run with it, and wait for your next opportunity, you're going to kill it. Because eventually it will, look, it filled the gap again. And here's what's crazy right now on the daily. From where we gapped down last time on Facebook, we're holding that high, couple of tests there. Look what we're trying to do here. We gap down, but once, twice, we're making those highs resistance now. I know that this is kind of showing that we're losing the sellers, but it may, like I said, it may play out very, very similar you did back here. You might want to look. I don't think we'll fill the gap right away. This is the daily. But I don't see why you can't get a little pop to the, let's see. Okay, that would make sense. A pop to 244. You're oversold. You're losing negative momentum. Get a little pop 244, and then it drops again. That's the daily. See if the 4-hour confirms that. And it does. And it does. Without me even looking at it, I never look at Facebook because I hate Facebook. Facebook was one of my very first lessons, learning lessons in trading, to don't listen to anybody else. Learn to do this yourself. Like, everybody can be wrong, but it was one of my very first lessons that made me go, no, 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 I'm about to read these myself. I listened to a friend, and he's like, oh, man, I had Facebook at $25, $29 maybe 21. He's like, dude, if Facebook hits 15, get out, bro. Get out. It's going to nothing. I'm like, you sure? He's like, yeah. I do this all the time. Man, guess what? Look where it's at now. Because I wasn't trying to swing trade. I was trying to build a portfolio back then. But anywho, on the 4-hour, look at this big old nice green candle. We're turning positive on the momentum. So the 4-hour is leading us into the daily of saying that we're going to probably continue to lose those. 1 test, 2 tests. We're showing it as resistance. We'll probably get a little pop above it. Go from either 232 to 244. That's what I would do. I would take and set me, if I bought first thing in the morning, depending, if I bought at 221, excuse me. No telling what we can do between now and the morning. I could set my stop loss at around 215, 214. And then I'd set first take profit at 228. Second take profit at 237. Third take profit at 244. Leave 25% in there just to see what happens after that. If we go fill that gap, congratulations. You just ran up to $316. If we don't, sell that last 25% when it falls back down to 231-ish. That's what I do. So that is what it is. Anything else? Anybody else got a question? Anybody else got a stock and or crypto they would like me to look at? Y'all want to look at DWAC, Donald Trump's digital acquisition world situation? Look here. Look here, listen. That candle right there raped a lot of people. What's surprising is that we didn't go down further. This is the weekly. Yeah, between 78 and 88% down. That was pretty brutal. But it is also recovered 163%. Very volatile, even on the weekly. On the daily, looks like you're trying to form a little uptrend. Blah, blah, blah. Looks like the sellers, they came in early, but they're starting to become exhausted. We're struggling bad to find sellers in the market. We're not overbought. I kind of think you could get a little channel going here. Oh, what's this? It's rising channel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5 touches. There's probably a heart line right in there we're skating across. So I think we could go see that touch again, run up there somewhere in that 123, 124 range. Anybody playing with the DWAC? Anything else? Anything else before I get off here and go mix me another drink? I'm getting dangerously low on my whiskey and my cranberry. Anybody want to? Do we need to spin the wheel? Will Dogecoin ever hit $1? Well, I'm glad you asked. Anything is possible. And the fact that Dogecoin got to 74, almost 75 cents, that's close enough for me. I got out at 60, almost 61, and then my second half at almost 62. Man, I'm not going to say that it won't, because I really personally, I believe it will, because usually the strangest outcomes will happen. But we have fell on the daily. We have fell below it, a very, very strong resistance. Got back above it, fell below it, retested it as resistance again, but still making higher lows, losing negative momentum. At least we got Ken. Now, here's where I want to get excited about Doge, okay? Ta-da. We got... I'm looking at it like that right there. And we'll probably pull down. Let's just say that consolidation is the flag, because we flagged out, ran again. We could flag. This is a downward sloping pennant. But what's beautiful is that we're not even in the bullish control zone yet. Doge is still down here below 50. If we get above 50, where the bulls take control of the buying momentum, man, that's gonna be some fireworks. And we have this downward contracting price action. There's a lot of holders. If you keep zooming out here, look where these cats, I mean, there's people from way back when. There's 2014. All of these holders are still holding. All of these holders, there's a lot of belief around Doge. So if we want to, let's pull a measured move of this flag. Let's say we get some miraculous pump. Let's clone it. So what you want to do is clone the pole, and it's subjective, but this flag, pole, take the pole and move it to the breakout. Typically, most things want to break out. When you get a downward sloping channel flag, most of the time the breakout wants to happen around 3/4 of the way through. And as you can see, we're coming up on that pretty quickly. Over the next few weeks, you'll clone the flagpole. This is conservative now. If you wanted to go all the way down here, then I think you're getting a little crazy. But that should be the breakout if it follows technical analysis to a T. I mean, look what it does. Look where it puts us. A 100% measured move puts us at $2.30 on Doge, bro. $2.30, man. That's a hell of a measured move. And you've got the MACD cooperating that we're losing sellers. Negative momentum is losing. It's gone. It's starting to turn positive. Any just freaking this time this month, it's coming. So yeah, I don't see why a dollar is impossible. It's not. People are really behind it. But if the measured move plays out, you're talking about $2.30. That's insane. I've got some friends and family which I hope are still holding because they didn't sell when I told them to sell. Because I was like, you'll get a chance to buy back in much lower. Taking your sell around 60 cents. Don't wait for the Elon crap on Saturday Night Live. I mean, because at that point, it's at 60 cents. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can know it was going to 75. What's 15 cents? What's 15 cents when you can buy back in the 20s, the 19s? I mean, where are we at today? 15 cents. Come on. You could double stack, triple stack it. But yeah, OJ, there's what I see happening with Doge. If everything plays out perfectly, Bitcoin cooperates, you're going to see a $2 Doge, bro. $1 going to happen, $2 Doge for real. And I don't know what the monthly is. Let's look. I mean, you're getting the same thing. You're almost 3/4 of the way through. It's just touch, touch, touch. We need that negative momentum to start going away. If we start losing it here, then you'll turn this around on the monthly, and you'll have a little hidden bullish divergence. Oh, man, OJ, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I'm trying my best. I don't know what else I can do to try to, because I'm not one of those guys that you see on there posting thumbnails of Bitcoin to 10 million and that are like making funny faces in the thumbnails. I can't do it, dude. I can't do it. All I can do is go live and try to relay what information I know and I have found and I have learned over the years to anybody and try to answer what questions I can to help everybody get a step up. I'm not selling these trading academy packages and all that stuff. Eventually I'll monetize, but what am I going to monetize? 3 people on YouTube. So, man, please, I appreciate the love, man. Could you go ahead and just share with your friends? I'm about to get out of here. Gary, thanks for tuning in again tonight, man. Take it easy. Have a good day tomorrow. Keep your eyes open. And, yeah, please, everybody, like.